Once I get it started, then I will transfer it over to you so I can see all of you better. Oh, there comes Miss Mary Lou. Stop. All right, once I get it started, then I will go back over here. Got it. Make you host. Yes, change my view. There we go. I think I got it. Turn this way so you can see a little better. Ooh, that's, I don't have enough cord. Guess I'm gonna have to unplug this. Hi, good morning. How are you? It's good to see you. All right, let me get my paperwork. So welcome everybody. Let me just do a quick, show you who's here. Good morning, everybody wave. Good morning. Here we go. So everybody feels like you're part of the same group here. So this is, believe it or not, this is the 6th session. Hear me? Can everybody online hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. Oh, you know what? I gotta switch this over here. Hold on a minute. I got one more thing I gotta do. I gotta get you guys on my bigger screen so I can see you. There we go. Ooh, that sounded terrible. All right. So we are on the
message.
6th. Yes, ma'am.
It says host.
Oh, you muted yourself, Mary Lou. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Hold on a minute, Mary Lou. I can't hear you. Mary Lou, you need to unmute yourself. Go find your. There you go.
Said
What were
that
you saying?
the host. I unmuted. Can
Yep.
you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. I can.
The note said that the host had disabled screen sharing.
Oh, okay. Well, we
And
don't need.
everybody's frozen again, like last time.
Oh, so you're probably frozen because you don't
Can't
have
hear
enough bandwidth. Can you hear me, Rick?
Yes, yes.
Mary Lou, it might be you got to turn up your volume on your end. So if you can find the little thing that looks like a speaker and turn that up. All right. So we are on session 6, and the education that we've got today. Let me see where I can stand so everybody can see me. All right. So what are the 3 different kinds of exercise that we're supposed to do?
Jackie, I'm getting feedback on Mary Lou's side.
Mary Lou, can we mute you out so that because you got a lot of background noise or something. Yeah, go ahead and mute it. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the 3 different kinds of exercise that we're supposed to do when we have arthritis?
Stretching.
Okay, so I think we've heard most of them. So let me start at the top. Range of motion. So when you think about range of motion, I like to think about my shoulders, okay? And if my shoulders, a full range of motion for your shoulders is to be able to lift your arms up all the way and probably come back a little bit, okay? But if your range of motion, if you get this far and you hurt, that's your range of motion, right? And what you want to be able to do is increase your range of motion little by little to try to get more and more range of motion, right? So we want to work on range of motion so that we have flexible joints. And if you think about it, if you have sore shoulders and you can't get your arms up any higher than this, it's hard to brush your hair, right? It's hard to brush your teeth, hard to reach up into a cupboard. So activities of daily living can be really difficult. So that's why with arthritis, we try to increase your range of motion so you have a better quality of life. Strengthening, that's another one that was mentioned, right? So if we lose strength in our legs, right, we have difficulty getting down into a chair. What do we do if our legs aren't strong enough? Have you seen people just kind of plop down, right? That can be how we react. So we want to have strength. And then, like you said, endurance. So we want to be able to take and be able to do what we need to do first. So for instance, if you need to go grocery shopping and then you want to go out to lunch with a friend and your endurance isn't good enough, by the time you get done with grocery shopping, you get in your car, you drive down, you do your grocery shopping, you put your groceries in the car, you get your groceries out of the car, you put your groceries away. If your endurance isn't good, the last thing you want to do is then go back out of your house and go for lunch, right? Because you don't have the endurance to do that. So we want to work on endurance. All right. What was that, Mary Lou? Oh, I thought you said something. Okay. So endurance exercises strengthen your heart, make your lungs more efficient, and gives you more stamina. They help you sleep better. How many of us need to sleep better? Right? They help you sleep better when you wear yourself out in a good way, helps you control your weight, and improves your sense of well-being. What are some of the things that we can do to increase our endurance? What was that? Repetition. So you do more of something little by little to increase your endurance. Walking is a good exercise that does endurance. This kind of class helps you increase your endurance, because if you're not used to moving for an hour, doing a little bit for a whole hour and then doing a little bit more for a whole hour, you get more endurance, okay? And you don't do it up all at once, you have to do it gradually. Okay, so we're gonna start our joint check warm-up. And remember, our joint check warm-up is gonna help us start bringing our body through a range of motion, each of our body parts. It's gonna lubricate our joints, and it's going to help us start to get the range of motion in there that we want. So we're going to start these by sitting down. And the first one we're going to do is our chin tuck. So what I want you to do with the chin tuck is go ahead. Yeah, let's start by sitting tall and proud. Okay. So what you want to do is try to get your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. So you're going to pull your chin back a little bit. Now go ahead and put your thumb on your breastplate, okay? Put your index finger on your chin, okay? This is your guide. Your hand does not move at all, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten the muscles in the back of my neck, chin back away from my finger, hold it for a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then relax, okay? As you do that, you're strengthening back here so that as we get older, we want to keep doing this. We want to do this. We want to pull those muscles, tighten those muscles, get them stronger, and relax. So let's do 3 more. Ready? Pull it back. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Now, when you do this, I am not lifting my chin, okay? I am keeping my chin flat, so my eyes are still looking at the same place, and I'm just pulling my head back, okay? And relax. 4, 2, 3, and relax. And then the last one, 5, 2, 3, and relax. Let's do one more just for good measure. 6, 2, 3, and relax. So who feels that tightness in the back of their neck now from doing that? So let's go ahead and just do some shoulder circles, and let's loosen up those shoulders, okay? All right, now we're gonna do the head turn. So sit tall and proud. Okay, now when I sit tall and proud, my goal is to keep my shoulders over my hips, keep my chin pulled back so my ears are over my shoulders, relax my shoulders down and back because I don't want to have them up here, right? I want them down here, okay? And the next thing we're going to do is a head turn. So we're going to just keep our chin at the same height and just turn our chin and look over our shoulder and look straight ahead. And then we're going to go the other way, and we'll do it. 1, 2, 3, and come center. Let's look over the left again. 3, 2, 3, and center. To the right. 4, 2, 3, and center. To the left, 5, 2, 3, and center. To the left, 6, 2, 3, and center. To the left, 7, 8, 7, 2, 3, and center. I get confused. 8, 2, 3, center. One more each side. 9, 2, 3, center. The last one, 10, 2, 3, and center. Okay, let's roll those shoulders again. Okay, what we want to learn to do is to isolate what we're moving and not tighten everything else, except we want to keep our body position where we are, shoulders over hips and ears over shoulders. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're gonna do some arm work. We're first gonna do an overhead arm reach. So just bring your arms up in front of you to as high as you're comfortable, okay, and bring them back down. You may have one arm that doesn't want to go up as high. Listen to your body, stretch it just a little bit, but try not to push too far. We're at 3 and down. 4, if you can bring them back a little bit, that's good, and down, but I'm not arching my back. 5 and down. Now we're gonna go back to our head, and we're gonna do a head tilt. So you're gonna keep your eyes are initially looking straight ahead. Imagine that you have an axle going through your chin, and you're gonna rotate around this axle. So I'm just gonna tip my head to the left. My ear's coming close to my shoulder, but my chin is staying pointed straight ahead. And then up, and then the other way. 2, 2, 3, and up. Count with me. We're at 3, 2, 3, and up. Can you feel the stretch on the side of the neck when you go that way? 4, 2, 3, and up. 5, 2, 3, and up. We're going to go to 10. 6, 2, 3, and up. And 7, 2, 3, and up. Ed, try to keep your chin pointed straight ahead, and you're just rotating your chin. What number are we on? 9, 2, 3, and up. And 10, 2, 3, and up. Okay, let's roll those shoulders back again. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the arms. Okay, and we're going to crisscross our arms in front. And we're going to bring our arms up and over and try to crisscross them over the top. So down and cross and up and cross. We're at 3 and up. Count with me. 4 and up. 5 and up. And 6 and up. Let's do one more. 7 and up. All right, let's roll those shoulders again. Okay, we're going back to our jaw, and this time I'm going to pull my mask down just so you can see me for just a second. Imagine that you're opening your mouth until your mouth you would be able to fit your 3 fingers in your mouth. So if I was to open my mouth, okay. So that's how wide you want to open your mouth. I just had to do that. I just needed to make you laugh. Okay. So go ahead and open your mouth and hold it open. We're going to count with our mouth open, so it'll sound really silly. Ready? Go. And close. And close. And close. And close. Last one. And close. There we go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to jut our lower jaw forward. So you're going to sit tall and proud, okay? And you're going to take your lower jaw and stick it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We sound so silly. All right, now we're going to do some shoulder rotator stretches. So again, sit up nice and tall, put your elbows into your sides. Okay, your palms are facing up. You're going to rotate your hands out so that your hands are pointing out to the side. Okay, keep the elbows in and together. 2, 2, 3, and in. 3, 2, 3, and in. 4, 2, 3, and in. Last one. 5, 2, 3, and in. All right. Let's roll those shoulders again. I love to roll my shoulders because I carry a lot of stress in my shoulders, in my neck. So when I get done with something, yeah, let's roll one shoulder. Let's roll the other shoulder. And let's roll them both. Okay, let's get a quick drink. And you're going to grab your band. We're going to work on a band. Or should I say work with a band? Does everybody have a band now that's here? And do you have a band? You lost your hearing aid. I know, I have to keep fiddling with mine too. Do you have a band with you? Do you have a band? You want to use one of mine? Let me give you one of mine. Everybody home got a band? So we're going to use a band for some strength work. There you go, my dear. Let me close this since everybody is here. They didn't need to hear me counting like a silly girl. All right. Okay, the first one we're going to do is going to be without the band. So just rest the band on your leg as a minute. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring our arms out to the side and let's just do some arm circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you feel your shoulders working when you do that? Okay, yep, that's it, Lee. Wiggle around a little bit. Give them the relief. Tell them they did a good job. Okay, now we're going to take and now we're going to use the band. Okay, we're going to use the band in our hands. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our bands and we're just keeping our arms shoulder width apart. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep our right arm straight out in front and we're going to pull our left arm back like we're pulling a bow and arrow. So I'm pulling that elbow. Look at me, I'm pulling my elbow back, bending my elbow so it's coming back this way. Okay, so pull back. 3, 4. Lee, would you like a band? Would you like a band? I think I had another one. Sorry, I thought I had everybody with a band. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure everybody, I hope everybody home has one. And if you want to buy them, they're $5. If you want to just borrow them, I have you sign a paper. All right. So how many did we do? I think we did 3, 4. If you've already finished, you can stop. And 5. All right. Let's go the other arm. Okay. Now the left arm is anchored out straight and you're pulling back. 1. Try to keep that elbow up high. So I start with my elbow at shoulder height and I'm pulling it back and keeping it shoulder height. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. What are we going to do next? That's it. There you go. You got it. Roll those shoulders. All right. Now hold the band out in front. So what we did was we worked on these muscles here when we're pulling back, right? Now we're going to work on the top and the bottom muscles by holding your arms out straight in front of you. And you're going to pretend you're walking like a robot with straight arms and you're pulling against the band. So you're going to pull up and down and go the other way. 2, 3, 4. Keep the arms straight if you can. 5. Let's do another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can you feel that making your shoulders stronger? Roll those shoulders. Okay. Now, if something hurts, what do? Stop. That's right. If something feels tender, maybe you feel something that's kind of burny, okay? You need to be able to figure out when you're feeling something stretch a little bit and work a little harder versus pain. We don't want pain. We don't want a burning feeling that feels like you're getting stabbed or something. So pay attention to your body, okay? All right, let me see. Now we're gonna take the bands out in front, okay? And now we're gonna pull our arms apart. Keep the arms straight, pull them apart. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So what we did with all those motions is we worked all the different sides of our arm muscles, okay? So let's go ahead and let's work on our leg muscles. So we're gonna take our band, take your band and lay it, let me tilt this down just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so you're gonna put the band across the top of your thighs, just above your knees. Marilyn, you may wanna untie that. Is that one a real short band? Okay, let me give you another one you can use today. This will be a little easier for you. Well, you can make, so remember, so when you're using a band, let me give you a few tips about this. When you're pulling, if your hands, so if I just have my hands at rest, right, and I'm not pulling, you can feel how much pressure it takes, right? The harder you pull, the more work you're doing, okay? So you're in control of how much pressure you're using. And one of the things you do is how far apart makes a difference. So that's why I'll tell you when you start with your arms, like I said initially, start with your hands shoulder width apart. That's a different muscle group and a different strain than if I have my hands out here and I'm going this way, okay? So, and like if you were to use the bands and you were to put them under your feet and you were gonna do a bicep curl, and I'm just kind of showing you an example. This is one level of strength. The longer I make these, the less work they are, right? Because I'm not pulling as hard. The shorter I make these, the shorter distance between my hands, the more work I gotta do to pull it, okay? So pay attention to where you're holding your bands. So let's do our legs. So we're gonna take the bands, lay them across the top of our legs, right over our thighs, right above our knees. Okay, your legs are together. Okay, your knees are touching. You're gonna crisscross the band behind your legs. Grab the other end and just hold onto the edge. Now, if I have the band pretty loose, that's gonna be one level of strength training. If I snug it up, that's gonna be a whole lot more work, okay? So listen to what your body wants to do. You wanna push your body, but you don't wanna make it strain. So the other thing we're gonna do now, so we're gonna work on our thigh strength. So we're gonna start with the same position. We're gonna sit tall and proud. We're gonna let our shoulders go down and back. We're gonna make sure our shoulders are over our hips and our ears are over our shoulders. Now, before we do anything to protect our lower back, we're gonna tighten our belly and we're gonna put ourselves into bad dog, which means you're gonna tuck your tailbone under your hips. Okay, so roll your hips under, okay? Now we're ready to do the exercise. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna march and you're gonna pull against that band and down and alternate legs. Lift and lower, count with me. 3 and down, and this is where you can make the band tighter if you want to, okay? 4 and down, 5 and down, 6 and down, 7 and down, 8 Now, try to keep your upper body exactly in the same place. Try not to do this, okay? Try to keep everything still, okay? Let's do 8, 7, and down, 8, and down, 9, and down, and 10, and down. Where do you feel that? Where do you feel like you were just working? Your front of your thighs, okay? So now the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna work the inside and the outside of the thighs, okay? So when you use the band, you use one set of muscles as you move away from your body. You use another set of muscles as you're holding back, as you're bringing your body back in, okay? So we're gonna take and we're gonna anchor, first we're gonna anchor our right leg, and we're gonna move our left leg out and in, which means we're rotating at the hips. So we're gonna take this knee and we're gonna bring it out to the side and slowly bring it back in. Let's do that again. 2, are you tall and proud? And in, is your tailbone tucked? 3, and in, and 4, and the farther you separate your legs, the more work you're doing. 5, and in, all right? Now let's switch to the other leg. Are you sitting tall and proud? Belly tight, tailbone tucked, and right, out, and in. 2, and in. 3, and in. And 5, and in. Who can feel that in your hips? Okay, let's undo the band. Okay, we're gonna give our legs a break by putting our legs out in front of us and shaking our legs. Okay, tell them they did a good job. All right, I gotta change this a little bit more. I gotta turn this down just a little bit farther. All right. Now the last one we're gonna do with the band today is we're gonna take the band, we're gonna have our feet together, okay? We're gonna take the band and we're gonna put it across the front of our lower shins, okay? Across the front of your lower shins, just like we did before. We're gonna crisscross it behind us, okay? Now I like to bring it out and bring it across the front of my shins and bring it up between my knees. So bring it around and up, because I like to be able to hang on to it up here. There you go. Looks like everybody got it here. I think you guys got it there. So now this one, Rick, especially with bad knees, okay, watch this one, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna think about, look at this, look at my knees. I want my knees to be the same distance frontwards, okay? I don't have them cocked, right? I don't have one in front of the other. And I'm gonna work on keeping my knees right where they are. But what I'm gonna do now is with the left leg, I'm gonna kick the left leg out a little bit, pushing against the band, and then I'm gonna pull it under the chair. So push and pull. 3, and pull, and 4, and pull. Try to keep your knees at the same spot. 5, and pull. Okay, now we're gonna do the other leg. Now we're gonna anchor the left, and we're gonna kick and pull the right. So kick and pull. 2, and pull. 3, this is a great one for helping strengthen around the knees. 4, and pull, and 5, and pull. But you know that if something in there is not feeling good, then you don't do it, okay? There's certain days I can do that and certain days I can't do that. So I listen to my body and say, is today one of those days I can do it? And what I'll do is I'll do a little bit to start with, and then I increase my range of motion as I do those. Okay, let's take the band off. All right. So now we're going to take the last one we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to bring our arms up over our head, and we're going to reach as far up as we can. So reach up as far as you can and bring your arms back down. Reach as far up as you can and arm back down. 3, and down, and 4, and down, and 5, and down. The chocolate's on the top shelf. Down. For me, that would give me to reach, okay? Just saying. Not that I like chocolate or anything. All right. So, there's one that I like to do that is really, you know what, we're gonna do it a different way. They like us to do wall push-ups, okay? I don't like to put my hands on somebody else's walls, okay? So we're gonna do it this way, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to take your band, okay? Bring it up and wrap it around your shoulders. So it's coming across the middle of your back, okay? Once you have it there, you're gonna take and you're gonna, now, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can put the band so that it's coming between your thumb and your index finger. If that makes that area sore, the other way I like to do it is I like to wrap it around the outside of my hand so it hits the wide part of where my side of my hand is, and then it comes through here, okay? So I come around the outside of my hand and then to the inside of my hand. Does that make sense? You got it, Miss Carrie. Because I have more, like, what do you want to call it? I have much bigger surface area here, there than I do in the middle, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna do a push-up. I'm gonna start with my elbows out, and I'm gonna push my arms forward, push my palms forward, like I'm doing a push-up, and release. 2, count with me, release. You always wanna count when you're exerting. 3, and release. 4, and release. 5, and release. So let's stop here a second. So if I want to do more work and use more strength, what would I do with my band?
Make it shorter.
Make it shorter. That's right. So if I make it shorter, not that you have to, but if you felt like that wasn't enough work, when I do that, I kind of lower it a little bit on my back too, so it's not going to go flying up, ow, or get stuck in my hair, okay? And then I push and it's more work, okay? So this is something I would really recommend doing at home and work on that. So when you're pushing out like this, think about squeezing your chest muscles. So it's working your arms and it's working your chest muscles, okay? So that's something you can do at home. You may do those a few times a day, okay? Now, the way you can also do it at home, let me just tell you a little bit about this. So, and I'm gonna show you up here, hopefully you'll be able to see me. So you can use the wall, and if I was using the wall, I'd put my hands shoulder width apart, right? And if you're gonna do the wall, the thing you wanna think about is keeping your torso straight. I don't wanna do this, okay? I wanna keep my torso straight, and then you bend your hands and you come closer and you push yourself away. And when you start, you wanna start with your hands shoulder width apart. Then what you can do is you can bring your hands closer, and that's gonna work it a little different. You can bring your arms apart. Now you can start by up here. So does it take me a lot of strength to go closer to the wall and apart? Now what happens if I bring my feet farther? Let me see if I can do this. So I really don't want to put my hands on their wall. I'm going to be creative. Okay. I'm using my sheets of paper to keep my fingerprints off their walls. Okay. So if I bring my feet farther apart, am I doing more or less work when I bend my arms? I'm going to do more work. Okay. Because my feet are farther away and my lever is longer, and I got to push harder to get away from the wall. So then the next thing you can do is imagine that this was the top of a table. And if I took it, I put my hands on the top of a table, and then I bent and I straightened. Is that more work than what I've done so far? It is, right? And then you can kind of work your way down so you're lower and lower. Because what we want to do is keep getting stronger and stronger, because if we keep doing the same thing, we're not going to get stronger, but we want to do it a little at a time. Okay. Now I've actually worked up so I can actually do real push-ups again. I haven't done real push-ups in years. Okay. So it can be done. You just got to go slow and be careful. Okay. All right. Let's see where we are. Now we're going to do, I'd like everybody to stand up. Let's stand up and let's get a drink. And we're going to do a few more exercises standing up. Now let me just tell you something. We had a physical therapist come in yesterday at the beginning of my 8 o'clock class and talk a little bit about how you do things and stay healthy. Would you be interested in seeing if I can get her to come back and do something at the beginning of one of our classes? If so, raise your hand. Okay. I will see if I can get her to come and talk to us again, or somebody else in her practice. There were some things I have learned so much over the years from physical therapists and she kind of reinforced a lot of the things that we do in these classes. She reinforced that we're doing the right thing. One of the things she did talk about that was different, especially for people with arthritis, was a lot of times, like I always say, if something hurts, I like to ice it to get the inflammation out. And what she said was, it's for a lot of people, for when you have arthritis, it's really a question of what feels best to you. Sometimes cold feels better. Sometimes heat feels better. And I've talked to you about that before. And she said a lot of times, especially with arthritis, heat is better in the morning to help get things moving. And cold is better sometimes at night because it helps reduce the inflammation of what you've caused during the day by all your activity. So you want to think about it and figure out what works. So I was just really impressed with what she talked about. So the next thing we're going to do, now this one, we're going to do a trunk rotation. Now, if you've been, if your doctor's told you not to rotate because you got severe osteoporosis, you don't rotate. But for everybody else, it helps keep our spine healthy when we do rotation. So, but you want to do it correctly. Now, when you rotate your spine, you don't want to rotate your knees. So what you want to do is you want to keep your knees pointing forward, your feet pointing forward, and you want to rotate at the waist and keep your hips going forward. That sounds weird. So put your hands on your waist, okay? And you want to concentrate on keeping your hips going forward and just rotate a little bit. By what I like to think about is I want to use this elbow as my guide, and I want to think about moving my elbow toward the front and then coming back center and then going the other way and center. Everybody looks like they're doing a good job because I don't see it strain. We don't want strain in our knees. 3 and center. 3 and center. We're at 4 and center. 4 and center. Last one. 5 and center. 5 and center. That's another good one to do. See, is watch the difference. If I don't anchor everything, watch where the pressure goes on my body. Let me stand this way. You see what happens to that knee? That takes all the pressure, and that's what we don't want to do, okay? Because our knees are not meant to go side to side. Our knees are meant to go this way. So we don't want to create torque on our knees, okay? And that's why I hurt my knee the other day. Because I was doing something in the garden and I was rotating, and I'm paying the price now. So, all right, now we're going to do a standing side leg lift. So we're going to stand next to our chair. We're going to use our chair for balance. So we're going to stand next to our chair, and we're going to have our feet. We're going to start with our feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to think about our posture, our shoulders over our hips. our ears over our shoulders, okay? And now we're gonna do a weight transfer and bring your weight over to your right leg, okay? Now I don't want you to stick out this right hip. I want you to use your torso muscles and keep this nice and straight, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna weight transfer to the right and just slightly lift this foot off the ground a little bit and bring it together. So weight transfer, lift and lower. So go ahead and put your hand on this muscle right here, okay? So it's the one that's down from your hip. And what you do is you lift your leg until you feel that muscle activate and bring it back down. Activate and down. 4 and down. 5 and down. One more. 6 and down. Now, the reason I say that is when we do a side leg lift, a lot of people think they need to go, woo, and it's got to be way up there. It doesn't have to be up there. You just need to lift it until you feel that muscle activate, okay? Now, let's go to the other side of our chair. We'll do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to start with the legs, feet, shoulder width apart. We're going to weight transfer, get this time to our left leg, okay? And then you're going to lift the right leg up until you feel that muscle activate and down. 2 and down. This is good for balance as well. 3 and down. 4. Now, watch your foot. Let's look at our foot for just a second. And when you lift that leg, I don't want the toe to point out, okay? Because if I point the toe out, you'll stand this way a little bit. If I point the toe out, I start lifting with the muscle that's in the front of the leg. I'm trying to build the muscle on the side of the leg. So my foot, the way it starts, my foot position has to stay that way. So my toe is out here, and look how my foot comes up. It just comes up at the same, my foot stays, it's parallel with my other foot, okay? Does anybody know what number we are on? We'll say 3 and 4 and down. One more. 5 and down. Shake your legs out. Can you feel that? I can feel that a lot on the leg I was standing on. Can you feel that one works a lot too? So when you're doing that, because you're trying to keep everything straight up here, this leg is working even when you're lifting this one. And because you're trying to keep your torso in line, it's working your whole torso, okay? All right. So now we're gonna take, and standing next to it, since we're on the side of the chair, we're gonna bend our left knee, and we're gonna work on our hamstring. We're gonna do a hamstring curl. You're just gonna think about keeping your thighs in line with each other, which means I'm not lifting my knee, I'm lifting my heel and keeping my thighs in line, and I'm just bending my leg behind me, okay? So see how these legs are staying together? I'm just doing a hamstring curl and down. 3 and down. 4 and down. 5 and down. Let's do the other side. Go to the other side of your chair. Okay, same thing. We're gonna bend our right leg. Thighs are lined up. Bend and down. Now, does anybody get a cramp in your hamstring when you do that? If you do, raise it a little slower. 2 and down. 3 and down. 4 and down. One more time. 5 and down. Can you guys move your chairs up just a little bit closer this way so they got some room in the back? You guys are all done? All right. All right, now we're gonna do a wrist stretch, okay? If you need to sit down because you're not comfortable with your balance, that's fine, but we can do this standing. You're gonna bring your hands out in front of you, okay? You're gonna bring your hands back and put them into prayer position, okay? So palms together and out, in into prayer. And when you're in prayer, you're trying to have a straight line from elbow to elbow across both wrists. And out because you're trying to stretch the wrist. Okay, that's what this exercise is for. Out and 4, out and 5. Can you feel that stretch in your wrist? Okay, another good way to stretch your wrist is to have your one arm out straight and use this hand to pull these fingertips back. So that's another good one you can do at home, like especially if you're doing gardening or something and you feel it in your wrist. So I do it this way, then I flip the hand down, I cover the middle knuckles, and I pull back and hold them. You want to hold the stretch and breathe. Okay, let's do the other side. Stop sign. Use the other hand to pull the fingers back. Keep the arms straight. Okay. Then you release it, let the hands fall down, cover the middle knuckles. Because if I hold down here and I'm not covering these middle knuckles, I'm pulling on those knuckles that I don't want to do. So I cover these middle knuckles and then pull back. Okay. And I try to keep that arm straight. Very good. Shake out your hands. All right. And now we're going to just do a row. We're going to imagine we've got oars down here and we're going to pull up. Down and up. 2. Down, lift those elbows up and out. 3, 4, and 5. And the last one's a great one. Put your arms out to the side. Crisscross your arms in front. Give yourself a hug and squeeze. And relax and open. Bring them together, the other arm on top. Squeeze. 2. And open. And 3. And open. And 4. And open. And 5. And open. And one more time so we do both sides equally. 6. And open. Who can feel that in your shoulders when you do that? Can you feel that? I can feel that in my shoulders too. All right. So now we're to the point where we're going to do balance. Okay. So I'm going to move my chair over to the other side because I feel more comfortable with it on this side. So let's everybody start with your feet shoulder width apart. Okay. You can have your hand on the chair for balance purposes. Okay. Now we're going to take and we're going to weight transfer and transfer your weight to your left foot. Okay. Can you bring your right foot over and put it in front of your left? Okay. Now, just hold, let's just hold here. And if you're able, let go of the chair you're hanging on to, but keep it right next to the chair. Okay. This is just working everybody to your level that you need to work. Okay. So if this is easy, if this isn't easy, this is what you can work on. Okay. You got one foot in front of the other. Now, do you have the equal amount of weight on both feet or are you standing more on your back foot? Okay, so what you can do is weight transfer a little bit and put a little bit more weight on the front foot and then a little bit on the back. So Miss Carrie, I have both feet on the floor. If you want both feet on the floor and just have one in front of the other, so like my feet are in line, okay, your balance is really good, okay? And everybody's balance is different, okay? Now let's relax and let's switch and let's put the other foot in front. So start with feet shoulder width apart, then weight transfer to the right leg and bring the left foot forward. Ideally, you wanna be able to stand with one foot directly in the front of the other for 30 seconds. Ideally, that's what you wanna work toward. Is everybody gonna be able to do that? No. But that's kind of what you want to work toward. Okay. So remember about how balance works. When your base is wider, it doesn't take as much balance, right? When you bring your feet together, it takes more balance. When they're one in front of the other, it takes more balance. When I decrease the amount of foot I have on the floor, it takes more balance. So if I was to now go up onto my toes, it takes more balance. Okay, so we're going to progress little by little, but that's what you kind of want to work at. You want to challenge yourself. Now let's just relax again and just kind of wiggle both legs. And I really want your balance to improve. Something that the physical therapist was telling us about yesterday too was, and I thought this was really good. This isn't part of the class, but I think it's a really important thing to talk about. Imagine that somebody was to come up behind me and hit me and like kind of push me in the back of that, push me in my back. What would I do? right? I would kind of lunge forward a little bit. So one of the things you can practice when you're comfortable is you can practice stepping forward and catching yourself and come back. Step forward and back. And forward and back. And I'm just stepping forward like somebody was to push me in the back, and forward and back. Now, the other thing that you do when you start to lose your balance, and this can kind of be the next step, and I'm telling you this so that if you want to work on your balance yourself and do it safely at home, these are some really good things to work on. The other thing is when you step forward, if they were to really push you hard, you would come forward and then your body would naturally go down here and your head comes farther ahead of you. So you have to be able to correct from that. Okay. It's hard to do it in slow motion. Okay. So you would come forward and you'd go forward, you'd hinge at the hips and then have to be able to lift yourself back up. So that's something that you can work on. Because as you're going forward, your head is so heavy, it's like a bowling ball. Right? So if you were to be pushed or something and you go forward, our instinct is to do this, and you got to be able to right yourself so you don't end up falling. So she was really, really helpful. I think she gave us some additional things we can work on. All right. Let's start our joint check cool down. I'm going to skip the endurance today. So let me put this up here so I can see it. You're welcome to sit. You want to sit down as we do this? We'll sit. We've been standing a long time. All right. So we're going to start with a shoulder shrug. So shrug your shoulders up and exhale and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. And slowly bring your arms up in front. High as you feel comfortable, and down. You can bring them back a little bit. 2, and down, and 3, and down, and 4, and down, and 5, and down. Now let's bring our arms up to the side, however high you're comfortable, and down. You can crisscross if you want. 2, bring them up as high as you're comfortable. Don't go past the point where you're feeling pain. 3, and down, and 4, and down, and 5, and down. Let's anchor our elbows, palms up. We'll do shoulder rotator. Rotate your hands out and then in. 2, and in, and 3, and in, and 4, and in, and 5, and in. Roll our shoulders back. Okay, now we're going to bring our left foot out in front of us. You're out toward the front of your chair so your leg can be straight. Okay. See if they can see. Okay, now tighten your belly, tuck your tailbone. You can lift your foot and let's do ankle circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can rest it a second. Okay, tuck your tailbone, lift your leg, go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. That requires you remember which way you went the first time. Okay. All right. Switch to the other leg. Tighten your belly, tuck your tailbone to protect that lower back, then lift the foot. Circle it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, put the left leg out. And you're going to pull your toe back towards your nose and stretch out that calf. Okay. Stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it relax. Point like you're pressing the gas pedal. Pull it back again. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press the gas pedal again. Pull your toe back. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. My legs are too long. I'm not seeing it. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press the gas pedal. Switch to the other foot. Okay. Pull your toe back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push the gas pedal. Pull it back. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press the gas pedal. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Okay, time to sit back and relax. Thought we'd never get here, didn't you? All right, here we go. So the one we're going to do today is called body scanning. So go ahead and sit comfortably in your chair. You may want to sit back against the back of the chair so you can relax. Keep your arms and your legs uncrossed. If you want to, you can close your eyes. That helps you relax more. And now think to yourself, I am now going to relax. Completely relax. Now think, my mind is calm and quiet. Think about your feet and wiggle your toes. Bend your ankles. Now let go of all the tension and simply let your feet rest limp and heavy. Think of the lower part of your legs, your knees and your thighs up to your hips, and imagine them sinking into the floor, heavy and relaxed. Now think of your hands, wiggle your fingers, bend your wrists, and then let go and relax. Think of your lower arms, your elbows, and your upper arms, all the way up to your shoulders. Picture all the tension just melting away as you continue to breathe deeper and deeper. Think about your stomach and your chest. Just imagine all the stress flowing out and feel the warm relaxation flowing in. Now think about your throat, your neck, your head, feeling limp and relaxed. Relax your facial muscles and your jaw muscles, and picture yourself completely relaxed. If you're aware of any remaining tension anywhere in your body, go to that area mentally and relax the tension there. Rest quietly for a few moments, feeling completely calm and relaxed. Repeat to yourself, I am deeply relaxed. I'm now ready to wake up, feeling completely refreshed and relaxed, yet alert and energized, and I'm ready to face the rest of my day and easily meet any demands that may arise. Now gently bend your ankles, wiggle your toes, then wiggle your fingers, gently bend your wrists, bend your right knee, then your left knee, bend the right arm, bend your left arm, and slowly open your eyes. Stretch your arms up and over your head. Exhale and bring those arms down. Inhale and bring your arms around in a hug. Give yourself a hug. Remind yourself that you're safe and you're healthy. And unwind. Bring those arms around again, the other arm on top this time. Give yourself another hug and remind yourself that you're loved, you're valued, and you're full of purpose. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. For the people that are in person, I have secured an area. Let me stop the recording.